Hello everyone, I'm making a new tutorial video series about Cosmos. In this video, I'm going to go through the basics on how to set up your very first project. But before we begin, it is important to note that your project name cannot contain any spaces or other special characters. In my case, for example, I named my project as Demo Project. As you can see, it only contains capital and lowercase letters. Now for the actual configuration part, head over to the Projects tab and then select this properties option. Now in my case, as I named my project as demo project, it will show up as demo project, but however you name your project, it will show the name there and then properties. So just click on it and this page will open up. It might seem a lot, but you will only need the properties tab under the Cosmos header. As you can see, it starts from here and it's going all the way over here, so it's not that much to process. Now let's explore what each of these options mean. The first option in the Profile tab, the Launch option, as the name suggests, you can set how you want to start your OS after it's finished building. So for example, by default it's set to VMware, so when you first build your project, it will open up VMware and boot it with its default settings. However, you can also choose ISO image, USB bootable drive, PXE network, etc. etc. if you click on this drop-down menu. I haven't really experimented much with any of these options. However, when I last tried ISO image about 2 or 3 years ago, it didn't work. So I don't know if it's fixed by now or it still has the same issue. It crashes with Visual Studio and you have to recover your whole project after that. So I would really not recommend messing with this setting specifically, because one way or another you are going to have a ISO file as an output. Next up, we have the Compile tab. From here, you won't need that much to work with. You will need compression, and from here you will select gzip. Now, gzip is a good thing to have in your operating system, because what it does essentially is that it compresses your ISO file, which means it is easier for you to spread your operating system, share with others without using that much storage up. So I definitely recommend using it. The second option, VBE Multiboot, well, we're not gonna use this in this tutorial, because what this does is this is used for graphics. So we're in this tutorial we are not gonna do any graphics, so you can leave this unchecked. Now remove boot debug output. As it says right here, it's removing the boot debug output in order for a faster startup, so you will definitely need this one. This compile with UEFI. What this does is, if you want to boot your operating system on a older hardware, for example, that doesn't have UEFI, you have to uncheck this and it will boot. But if you want to boot on modern hardware, which is very unlikely to be honest, but if you want to, you have to check this. And moving on, we have optimization level. I don't think this actually does. What I've heard is that this isn't really implemented yet, but either way I like to select all three because it just makes me feel better to have it, even though it doesn't do anything. And last but not least, we have bootloader timeout, and what this essentially does is, before booting up your kernel, it waits a specific amount of seconds. So if you say give it 0 seconds, that means that as soon as it can, it will boot up your operating system without any delay, waitings, etc. etc. And the last setting we're going to take a look at is under the debug tab, and it's called remote debugging. And you probably want to uncheck this because this gets rid of the text message that you get on booting up your operating system that says waiting for debugger connection. Now if you uncheck this, it will get rid of that message, so you will be able to boot up your operating system on real hardware. And with that, we've reached the end of this tutorial. In the next part, we will experiment with the console port, and then we will go for the drivers from there. The goal is to reach static GUI rendering in the end. If this tutorial helped, please consider liking or even subscribing to the channel. It would help a lot. And until the next time, goodbye.